Hey tappers, let's talk about what does it mean when you start tapping and things feel worse, and where is your empowerment in that? In order to understand why this might happen, we have to talk about how the trauma happened in the first place. From a scientific standpoint, we don't have to dive into the emotions. When you reach a point of overwhelm and your brain has turned on your survival mode, and you've tried fight, you've tried flight, you've tried freeze, and none of those have succeeded in alleviating the trauma, there's one option left that your brain has, and that is called dissociation. Some people also say it as disassociation. We're talking about the same thing. Dissociation is where your brain goes into survival mode by making things dull and patchy, vague. You're going to forget details. You may even forget the entire event. You may even forget your entire childhood. All it means is that your brain is protecting you. Okay, it's a positive thing. It means you went into a survival mode that worked because guess what? You survived. But now you're looking to clear it out. So when you start to clear it out and your brain agrees with you that now you are in a safe enough space to begin to digest it, that dissociative protection starts to lift up a little bit. You're going to start remembering details. You're going to remember anything that your five senses were taking in at that time that registered as important in that moment. That can be very overwhelming for you, especially if you haven't thought about it or remembered it in a very long time. However, absolutely never in clinical EFT do we believe that you have to push through something in order to overcome it. You've already been through the overwhelming part. That part's over. This healing part gets to feel empowering and you get to feel in charge of it. So we actually use dissociative behavior to our advantage. Now that you're starting to feel those feelings, and if they feel too big, you consciously take control of that dissociation. Whereas before it was survival, it was subconscious, it was activated without your awareness or permission. Now you can activate it in a way that feels good to you. How do you do that? One way is called the box technique. And essentially what it is you provide barriers. If it is a person, if it's an experience. Also, the movie technique can work for this as well, because in the movie technique, you can freeze the frame. But the box technique is where you can make it small. You can make the box impenetrable. You capture it. And then you say to yourself while you're tapping, it's in the box now. And I never have to open that box. No one can ever tell me what I have to do with that box, because all of this is mine. And I get to say what happens with it now. That feels powerful, but you do want to deal with it, right? That's what we're talking about. So you decide how you deal with it. Is there a little door where you can seep out like maybe 1% of it? Does that feel doable? Is there some other way, some other mechanism that allows you to deal with it? Maybe you have a little spyglass where you can hold it up to the edge, hold it up to the wall. Then you can see it and start to deal with it in little pieces. The idea is you choose the parameters, whereas before, you had no choice. You didn't have that empowerment, but now you do. Also, movie technique. Movie technique is more specific to an individual experience rather than something that you feel like maybe towards a specific thing or a person. So if you've had an experience that is too overwhelming to approach, then you can also create it into like a flat film that you're watching. And you can pause it at any time where you start to feel heightened, and you tap. The technique that is typically used here would be chasing the pain. So you're tapping out all of the heightened experiences of your senses. Once you're past that, in that moment, you rewind the film and you watch it to the next point where it's heightened. And then you pause it and you tap so that you get to do it in increments of time. Another way that you can lessen this overwhelm is with the technique sneaking up on the pain. Now with this technique, it is also dissociation, but in a different way. Rather than encapsulating it in some sort of barrier, you approach it in vague terms so that that overwhelm has less of a chance to hit you so hard. I'm not going to think about this thing right now, but if I were, it would probably feel this way to me. So I'm going to tap on, even though I'm not thinking about it, it would probably feel like this right now. And it gives you an opportunity to just kind of go around the edges and start to create a smaller area for that overwhelm to exist. When you reach a place where what you're wanting to approach feels too big, that's a good sign that your body is agreeing to face something, but it does not mean you have to face it in that intensity. If you need more help with this, we have certified clinical EFT practitioners that absolutely know how to guide you through something tricky like this, and then you can incorporate that into your own practice. Also, every Tuesday, we have an hour-long live EFT session that I guide you through. If you want to do something like this on there, come to the live, suggest it, and we can do it. I hope this helps. Good luck and good job. I'll see you soon.